What is good, YouTube? And today I'm going to be showing you guys a Shadowflame Hoyan one-shot slash speed team featuring Ninfoniel in all R and SR units. The win rate will be about 90%. If you actually sub out the DPS for Lilium, it goes higher and the runs are even quicker. But I'll show you guys the team. So the way it works is Ninfoniel is going to be the main buffer on the team. You can see I actually have her 1-1-1. If you actually get her S3 level 3, the runs are even more consistent and faster because you'll end up killing the boss faster, so it actually won't take as many turns. But basically what she does is she applies this attack buff, and it's pretty much like a super attack buff. But also the best part is she has this shield, so that the boss, even though he hits you sometimes, you'll still be able to live. And she's a good option if you guys are missing key like buffers such as Beyontin, right? Not everyone has Beyontin here. Beyontin being that she provides attack and crit damage. So if you guys don't have Beyontin, Ninfoniel is a great option you can use because she has attack and immunity buff, as well as the shield with Rhyme Bloom giving you even more damage. Will also be able, being able to heal you a bit as well. So basically the way you want to build her, it's pretty simple. You can see my matrices look very weird. Just don't pay attention to them. I had to take off pieces and deactivate matrices to make the speed tuning work. But basically you want her to be less than 245 speed. But you want her to be as close to 245 as possible, so ideally 244 is the best. And the reason why is because you want her to go after the boss. Now the boss can actually get pushed back by one of the characters we use, but in the case the boss resists it, you want her to go after, because that way she'll be able to put up the shield and it won't get taken down before your DPS goes. This is very important with Ninfoniel. A lot of people just kind of, don't speed tune with her and then don't find success because her shield actually gets taken off. But when you actually use Ninfoniel, especially if you're going to use her on a low investment setup like I am, you really need to actually use the shield as something you want to protect, not use the shield as something to protect you, because it is tied in with your attack buff. So for that reason, you want her slower than the boss in the case that your Catchy misses his pushback, and then you just want her on full HP bonus, and you also want her on Codex to reapply the shield, so in the case that, Dina gets hit by the boss, or one of the minions don't get stunned and, Dina, gets his shield taken off, you actually have the Codex to reapply the shield, and then on her third turn, she can actually heal and redistribute HP to whoever gets focused, and, make the run last for a few more turns in case you miss some key stuff. So that's how you want to build your Ninfoniel, pretty simple. The character that you want to go first is Catchy. So Catchy is going to be pretty much as fast as you can get him. I found 270 speed to be like the best benchmark to go for. If you're struggling to meet his speed requirements, you can level 4 his S1 and even star him up to 6 stars, which will actually boost his base speed, as you can see, which will give you a ton more speed. And you need to max his S3 because he is here to stun the side minions basically twice, so that you can just take a lot of turns. And then afterwards, of course, he has that really strong turn meter and CDR push, which will allow your DPS to S3 twice as well. And basically the way you build him is full speed, full effect accuracy, and on Codex, because you want him to actually CC the ads twice. You're going to be able to only get 2 S3s off when you actually use Dieting or Lilium. So because of that, you don't really care about him S2ing right away. So you're just going to basically use him on this Codex setup to double S3. So that's how you want to build your Catchy. It's pretty simple. Just make him fast on effect accuracy on Codex and you'll be good to go. Now the character that goes second to last, so Catchy goes first, and then it's Ninfoniel. Next will be Dina. You can also use Kloss, but Dina's actually going to be more consistent because she hits 4 times with her S3. Kloss only hits, I think it's twice. There's once, right? Yeah, it's just once. So it's only once. So even though it's a 100% chance if you max it, or not max it, level 3 it, I think it's 75% chance if you don't, which is going to be a lot higher than Dina. Dina actually hits a ton more, which makes it a lot easier to land if you have effect accuracy with how effect accuracy works in this game. So Dina's actually just more consistent. That's why she's in more one-shot runs if you don't need the speed down or the hacking progress. And you're going to use her basically just to defense down. If you miss everything else, as long as you land the defense down, you'll be fine. But obviously if you land the other debuffs, you'll do more damage and speed up the runs. And you're going to build her on full speed, effect accuracy, pretty much the same as Catchy, just a lot slower. But not too slow where she goes after your DPS because she's the debuffer. And then for your shell, just put her on like a level 10 Codex, like a 1-star Codex. Because you can build her very slow, she just has to outspeed your DPS. Usually your DPS isn't going to be on Swift Rush anyways, so you can just run her on a level 10 Codex, and she's just here to, S3 twice, basically. The second S3, because the defense down is already inflicted, you're going to be applying Vulnerable and Erosion, which will make your runs even quicker. Now, for your DPS, you can use Dieting, like I said, if you don't have Lilium, but Lilium is going to be better. I'll show you guys both runs, like I said, but I use Dieting in the showcase to test the runs, and you can see that you want him maxed out. Basically, just run him on Keen Eye, Fury Edge. There's no other real option. You can probably run Swift Raid as well. You'll do less damage on your burst, but if you go Swift Raid, you have to keep in mind your Dina will have to be slightly faster because you don't want her to go after Dieting. And also, you're going to probably play for an extra turn on Dieting because he won't burst as hard because he's missing the crit rate and crit damage, which is still fine, but just keep that in mind. You won't hit as hard as you see that I'm doing. But basically, you just run him on White Fang or Count. I think Count is just a lot better. I say this like every single video. I showcase one-shots. I just don't want to roll, a million chips on my Count and try to get, a non-Blade of Hollow passive because, this can take 10 or 12 chips or it can take, 1200 chips. So I'm not going to do that and brick my account. So White Fang works. Honestly, it's probably better I showcase the worst option, but Count is going to be the best bet. And you want to make sure he's at 100% crit or higher. Even though he has his passive, the target won't go on the boss. So if you're not at 100% crit and you miss the crit, you will end up failing the run. And yeah, that's not good. So you don't want to do that. So Dieting has to be 100% crit, Lilium as well. But that's pretty much the setup. I'll show you guys the run now. You can see how it plays out. It's going to be easier to see when you see the run and what happens. So I'm going to show you guys the run here. And when you guys are looking at the start of the run, just notice the turn meter. You're going to see Ninfoniel is tuned to go after the boss. And that's because on Shadowflame Hoyan, like I said, Catchy's S3 can actually work on the boss as well. In the case it gets resisted, that's why we have her slower so that she can actually S3 after the boss hits us, because we want to keep up the Ryan Bloom shield up for the damage. And here the boss does get pushed back, but you can see we're all able to take our turn. It's just kind of like a safety precaution, honestly, just to make the runs more consistent, and it makes it easier to gear. We land all the debuffs, so Dieting's going to do an immense amount of damage, but like I said, you only need to land the defense down because you're going to see it is pretty overkill. Ninfoniel will reapply our S3. The shield is actually doing a lot of work in terms of keeping my team alive. And the shield also makes it so that if you miss stun on one of the minions, you can still potentially win. And you can see defense break goes down, but I still kill the boss because we have Catchy to reset our cooldown. So I'm going to show you guys the run with Lilium now, and you can see that it's going to be pretty much the same setup, but it's going to be, a little bit more damage on her opener and on her execute. So I'm going to show you guys the run with Lilium now. Also works. Keep the speed tuning the same for it, and don't really mess with anything. You can use the exact same gear. It doesn't really matter, but you're going to see the shield goes up. Then we have Dina apply her debuffs again. She lands all of them. Great. Misses a stack, but she'll reapply it. She does a ton of damage. Honestly, I think Dieting did the same, if not more. Buff Lilium, I guess. But you're going to see that we reapply the shield. The execute comes in from the S2, which is where she catches up by a lot. And then you're going to see at this point, she's done more damage to the boss. And then Lilium will then S3 and then literally just kill it, right? So that's the run with Lilium as well. I guess it's pretty much the same speed, so you can use Dieting if you want. But it's pretty much how Ninfoniel works here. I would say she's pretty much the same as Beyontin, honestly. I don't want to say that she's better, but she does have the shield. And I'm sure if you actually get her shield big enough by putting in Lattice, she can save some runs where if like an ad doesn't get stunned properly or pushed back properly, it's like wailing on you and the boss gets an AoE. So that's a good thing, but this is the comp that I like to use. Pretty consistent, pretty stable, and she is also just good in one-shot teams for Shadowflame Hoyan as well, and probably a lot of other places where I still need to test. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.